Welcome back into the workshop. I was going to say with good morning people, but I think by now, with all the stopping and starting of these videos, it's probably afternoon. It's a cold and wet afternoon, so I'm going back inside soon. I came out here though because Saturday morning, what else do? You go and spend some money and you get some nice long lengths of aluminium box section. I bought a full length, which is about 6 meters long. That's cut in half, of course. Because I thought, do I use some of my old straight edges, these ones here, and use for the job at hand, or do I go get some brand new aluminium? So the brand new aluminium won out the day, because I thought, well, the existing straight edges that I've got, which are pretty straight, because I've had, I tested them for straight, and I thought, well, because they are old and still fairly straight, hey, I can still use and abuse them, that I'd probably be a bit more reluctant to use them in the same manner for the new stuff. Fuzzy logic, that's what I'm going with. So I'm going to chop a bit of aluminium, the section of this. I'm going to cut it down to 1200, because in the prior video that I deleted, I decided that 1200 is all I'll really need. Maybe two of them, but I'll make one length. So that's the length of the actual pads here themselves, the sketchy builder pads. That's 1200. When I move the arm, the fact that the aluminium, this black piece here is the one that I'm replacing, the fact that the aluminium section keeps, goes that way with the mechanism means that there's a section here that can't be, the material won't butt up against because it's not there. And I thought, seeing that I'm approaching this slightly differently now, this black section can be depinned, slid along, and repositioned back down here. So that's a good thing. I don't have to worry about it sticking out there, getting in the way. I don't have to worry about adding a piece on. Now that it is no longer being permanently fixed to this part of the parallel arm, I can move the thing. And remembering that we've got a pivoting type potential for this as well. So we've got a fixed, ignore the tapering jig bit. We've got a fixed capability, and we've got an adjustable capability with the parallel arm gizmo. And that's one of the things I made mention in one of the other videos I've just deleted, was that the more I get to try and understand and use and refine the parallel arm system, the more pleased I am with it. And if we can refine it and make it more flexible and capable, why wouldn't you want to do that? So that's what we're contemplating doing right now. Well, not contemplating, that's what we are going to do right now. So I'll set my, the saw going. We'll have to chop down the aluminium box sections, use the template there, and it will be pinned to this. Or will I? Hang on. No, I actually just changed my mind earlier, didn't I? No, what I might do is go back to, hang on, I'm just grabbing it off screen. I might go back and use the rail, the bar, put the bushing guides in it, set it up on the aluminium in the manner that I had set this rail and this rail up, so exactly the same, and drill the holes that way. Then I can use the other square pad template to drill some holes in between these ones here. How's that for an idea? I think I like it. Now, just thinking. No, that's what I'm going to do. For certain. Use that in the same manner as that was used. Yeah, I'll just give that a wee bit of thought. But yeah, I'll do that, make the video, then I'll get back to you with another video. So if it proves to be successful, because drilling the aluminium, it's a one-shot game. Yeah, it's worked for that one. Let's hope it will work for the next one, the new stuff, and put it in place, and then I'll show you the benefits of it. How's that for a deal? Well, that's a short video. What else can I say? Not much. One of the things I wanted to do was to be able to pin this mechanism. Once I rejig it a little bit, I want to be able to pin it in a position where the bolt falls over one of these lines. Hang on, I'll point you in the right direction where I'm talking. I want to be able to put the bolt that lies across the line of the 100mm space pins. So it needs to be there. To do that, I've either got to make the block quite long or have extra points of fixing on either side. So if this was at 500, then I'd need the pins here at 50mm off center to be able to... Are you following that? Of course you are. Yeah, everything I say that comes out of my mouth makes sense, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Stop laughing. But to be able to do that means I can put this in one of multiple positions, preferably at the 500 mark, which is where, let's just have a bit of a look. Well, that's 400. So that one really wants to be down about there. Why 500? Well, 500, let's do the maths, is half of 1,000. 500 millimeters, it's halfway from a meter. My measurements for calculating the angle for the jig was originally going to be out at the 1 meter mark. I've decided, through my infinite wisdom, not to do that. I'm going to make a chart, simply so I don't have to break out the fingers and toes, but I'll make a chart so that I can allow the adjustment to be made at maybe 300, 400, 500 and 600. Whatever, it doesn't make much difference. Or I just simply say, nah, you're going to have to be restricting your measurements to the 500 position. Here's the reason. An angle can be described or created using percentage or a run and rise. For 1 degree, you can use a 1.75 millimeter rise on a, say, 100 mils, 1.7, or if you go out 1 meter, it would be 17.5 millimeters. Measuring in those sorts of increments is quite straightforward and very achievable using this as a stop, so you can get it out to the right position and just fine tune it with that. The bolt has been remanufactured, so it's got a 10 by 1 millimeter pitch on it, so 1 full revolution is 1 millimeter, one in or out, depending which way you rotate it. So I can use that to fine tune it. So 17.5 down there, well, if I come down here 17.5, that'll give me a 2 degree, there or thereabouts, a 2 degree angle. And of course half of that I can just jot down, half of that, what's that, it's 8.75 or something like that. Put a chart, 8.75, 1 degree, 17.5, 2 degrees, up to whatever angle I want, and it just gets adjusted there. Dead simple. Measured and then fine-tuned with that. Seems to make sense to me. That means that my tapering jig can, because it's all one piece, as it moves, it takes the tapering jig, the parallel arm moves, it takes the tapering jig with it and keeps that taper, and I can change the size of the panel being cut. Yay. Or some such. If it's not going to be used, the beauty of this is I just pluck it off and store it. If it turns out not to be a worthwhile thing to have, nothing has altered on the parallel arm, which is detrimental, because it's added on rather than altered. So that's a really good feature. It's the same thing over on the miter station there. So I can put the pads on, the Sketchy Builder pads, I can put them on and pull them off in 15-20 seconds, so long as it's not all, you know, stuff on it like it is at the moment. But I can pop them off, put them back on. I can take the plenum, the dust collection plenum off, so it's back to the miter saw only, the compound miter saw. I can use it in that facility if I want. Put everything back on within 30 seconds and I'm away laughing again. So that's the benefit of that, because I'm not altering it, I'm adding to it or subtracting. Ditto here, if the arm here isn't required, it won't be beneficial. I don't have to, you know, I haven't done anything to the parallel arm, which is a, you know, like, not good. I can see it being used though. So there you go. I've got a use for it already. So there. The beauty of this is I can cut full size panels up to 1200 wide. I change out this panel, this pad, for the one that's sitting up there. And it is the, how do you say, it's 1400 long, allows the pins of the track rails to move out further. I can put the 1900 rail on it, this one there, and I can get a 1200 or 1220 actually, an 4 foot wide panel underneath the track rail. So yay, that way I can do whatever size cuts I want, with or without a taper. Yay. Okay, doke. Well, that's kind of it. I'll go have to do. Oh, that's great English. I'm going to have to cut this down, the aluminium, to suit 1200. Drill some holes and see how it works. Because if it doesn't work, I might have to delete this video as well. Yeah. Rightio, that's it. I'll set to and do that, and I'll catch you up in the next video. Rightio, see you later. Bye now.